This is one of the most fascinating things. That story in itself is insane. But so why Pharma Bro? Why did you used to use Pharma Bro to get angry before your starts?
It was very much like something I think you need to identify for yourself, like what gets you going as a baseball player. And I realized for me at a young age, like when I can muster up some sort of anger, it seems to be the emotion that like trumps all the other ones. So I feel like I'm out there just angry and competitive. And those are the two things I like to feel when I'm pitching. So it's not like isolated to Pharma Bro. It was very much like I had to find an edge. Like there was something I needed to try and grab onto to like feel those feelings while I'm pitching. And for a good while there, it was Pharma Bro. And I don't know why, but I remember that was just something I would look up and it would help me. So thanks to him.
So clearly you still want and need that mindset. What now? If it's not Pharma Bro now, what is it?
I think it honestly changes. It's like whatever you can find, like whatever you can find to give you that competitive edge is what I'm looking for. And I think there's a balance now too. Like as I get older, I'd say my goal is definitely still to feel like angry, to find that edge while I'm pitching, but it's like there's too much. There's always like you want to be in the middle of everything. Like if you're too high up or too low, it's not a good mixture. But like I said, I want to have that anger, but I also want to have it be like a bit more controlled. I'd say then at like that time in my career, it really, really helped me. And I still do it, but maybe not to the degree to which I used to do it. But like, I mean, I still got to find whatever that day makes me angry, I'm going to try and hunt it.
Do you ever try and get mad at, like, angry at hitters? Like if somebody walking up into the box and you're like, oh, I hate this guy. One time a couple of years ago, he, reached out to my girlfriend on Instagram, like, screw this guy.
Yeah. Sometimes I think for me, like I give people like the benefit of the doubt too much. Like I wouldn't say I personally like can get up there and like hate a hitter because I'm back in my mind and I'm like, maybe he's nice. Like maybe, I mean, he might do well, but maybe he's a good dude. So it's hard for me to like commit to that. But there's definitely stuff you'll tell yourself. Like I'm trying to do whatever I can to find that edge. And it would be like certain times I remember like 2019, from the bus ride to the hotel to the field, like I would like look out and just see random people and try to like get mad at them. Like just anything. Like it really, there was no like structure to it. It was just something that I could get before I pitched that would help me. And it honestly comes in a bunch of different forms. So, yeah.
So you have had a unique experience in that you came up in the National League, you debuted in the National League as a starting pitcher, and then you go over to the American League. So you were in a league that the pitchers hit, and you were in a league that the pitchers do not hit. Where do you stand on this? And did you like hitting?
I hope there's always like pitchers hitting. I enjoy it so much. Like in Pittsburgh, that was so much fun. I think too, like in spring, we got to hit all the time. And I think like nobody wants to be a pitcher at the beginning. Like everyone wants to be a pitcher, don't get me wrong, but like you grow up like wanting to be a position player. Everyone does. And then if you're not a position player, like you're probably also pitching and then you're a starting pitcher. And then a starting pitcher then sometimes becomes a reliever. But I'd say like the upper echelon, like what every little kid wants to be is a position player. So for me, when I hit, it's just feeding that like little kid in me. And I did relatively well hitting in 2017 with the Pirates. And I mean, pitchers get to hit this year too, and we're opening up the series in Miami. So I am ecstatic. I've been talking to Cash like every day trying to let me hit. And if there's any time I can get into the cage or take BP, like I'm going to jump all over it because it's just a lot of fun because I'm supposed to do that. It's a win-win. If I go and hit and I suck, good. I'm supposed to. I'm a pitcher. But
Yeah.
if I do well, it's like icing on the cake. So it's kind of how I think of it.
Dude, you're so right. It's all of you guys. All pitchers are the exact same. You all feel, and there's always been this thing like position players are the real athletes, pitchers aren't athletes, or pitchers are. There's something weird with pitchers that go on. They always want to get in the cage. They always want to give pointers. They're always like talking about their baseball swing. You're so right. Everybody, when you grow up, wants to be a hitter. You guys have the top prospect in all of baseball, in Wander Franco. Do you give fans something excited? Something to look forward to with him. Is he the real deal? Have you had much experience being around him?
So this is the first camp. I know he was in camp last year and he was at the alternate site last year, but this is the first camp I've actually got to see him like play regularly. And I mean, the hype is very real in my opinion. Like extremely good. I think for his age too, it's incredible like how polished he is. Really good on defense. I just think his approach and like his bat to ball skills are pretty next level. So, I mean, I would say all the hype's real and I hope he can come up and contribute this year at some point for sure.
If you were commissioner for a day, because this whole podcast, we're all about having fun, flipping bats, swinging 3-0. But if you were commissioner for a day, and there's a bunch of rule changes coming to minor league baseball, if you were commissioner for a day, what is a rule that you would change to grow the game of baseball?
I would say, I don't know how much it's the grow the game, but something I've always thought about, like, if this isn't even like tailored to baseball, but like being able to listen to a player's podcast, like playlist before a game. So like before every game, my routine is I'm listening to music probably an hour before my start. And like it would be cool if you could have like if like Spotify or whatever had like a live listening in, like look at what Tyler's listening to on his playlist, blah, blah, blah. And like, he's in the weight room warming up right now. And like, this is what he's doing to get ready for a game. That has always been something I thought would be amazing. Just to try and see like what guys are listening to and like what vibe they try to bring out on the field. And you can really tell a lot about a person by the like music they listen to. So I think in terms of that, like the individuality of trying to see how different guys are, that would be cool. I think that's a good idea.
That's a great idea. What is on Tyler Glasnow's playlist? What's on there?
It's honestly a bit of everything. Before a game, I want to listen to the most hood rap music I possibly can. Like I'm trying to get in my feels. Like I'm trying to just feel like I'm a G when I go out and pitch. But I'd say after, like a lot of alternative. I like reggae a lot. I like funk a lot. But like before a game, I want like heavy bass. Like I'll go like mumble rap. It'll be like good New York rap, like good lyrical rap, and then just more production beat, not so important lyrical stuff. Just whatever I can do to get into my feels. That's what I want.
The gangster rap I love that. I love it. That's your pregame routine. That's what gets you angry. It's great. So starting pitchers have a unique, you play once every 5 days. So you're on the front row of the dugout every day watching. Who's a pitcher that you've watched and gotten to experience that you're like, who do you think is the best pitcher you've gotten to experience just from watching?
DeGrom, Verlander, Cole, and Scherzer probably are people that I've been able to see firsthand. And I mean, like, that's a pretty cliche answer. It's probably everyone's answer. If you have had the opportunity to see them pitch, like, how could you not choose them? So I would say those four for sure.
Yeah, those are, yeah. Nobody's gonna call you out for for choosing those names. They're all pretty good. So one thing since you have come on here that I've been excited to ask you, and this is probably the most important question I'm going to ask you the entire time you're on here. What do you do to your hair to keep it so pristine?
I have very dry, puffy hair by nature, and I'll use like nothing crazy, like just whatever the clubhouse has, like shampoo wise or like conditioner. It's usually like a 2-for-1, which I don't really understand how that works, a shampoo and a conditioner, but I use that. And then I use like just like anything like with oil, not oil, but like a hair, like a leave-in conditioner or something like that. Something that makes it not so like gross and puffy and all that. So I just put like a moistener, if that's the right word, and that's all I do.
You're telling me the answer to this hair is the 2-for-1 that's in every locker room in America?
I think it's the most important thing is just the after part. Like just wash it and then put some oily type stuff in it. And then usually I already have like curly hair, so I just do that and then I let it go.
Wow, I did not see that answer coming. That's incredible. So that's all I need is to grow my hair out, use whatever is in the locker room, and then put in some oily stuff, moisten it up. That's the answer.
Our family's been actually like relatively blessed with some decent hair. Like my brother has long hair, and my dad has like had long hair for a decent time in his life, and I think I think he does the same thing too. So,
wow. All right. Before I let you go, we have some questions some recurring questions that it's going to be asked to everybody. So I got 3 questions for you. First, what is your welcome to the big league moment?
I would say, I don't know if this is even like that interesting of an answer, but like the first team flight is always insane. Like going on and like when you're a little kid and you imagine what the big leagues are, you imagine like putting a suit on, getting on a flight, going to a stadium playing, getting on a flight, going to a stadium and playing. And I think once I did get called up, I was looking forward to a flight, just a team flight the most. And then getting on and just like seeing the coaches in the first class and then like walking down, and you don't have to buckle your seatbelt on takeoff. Like there's really, it's like airlines, but not many rules. So I think that mixed with like, I don't know, they're like getting your drink orders while the plane's taking off. And it just seems like this weird, like, is this supposed to be happening? So you feel special and like that you get to break some rules. I'd say that was probably the number one for me.
All right, what is your most memorable moment on the field? Your most memorable play?
I would say probably honestly the first. I don't know if this is the most. It'd either be like my first start with the Rays. I'd say just like especially looking back now at how like meaningful it is to me now, coming from the mindset I was in Pittsburgh and then going to the Rays, giving me the confidence that they gave me, and then going out and doing well. I think it was against the Angels, and I struck out like 9 in 4 innings, and it was just this like overwhelming feeling of like, okay, like I'm good enough to be here. And it wasn't like I was like I could breathe and like I wasn't stressed anymore, but it was very much like I belong here. So I'd say that sticks out the most for me. And another, for some weird reason, like I pitched in Cleveland in 2018 too and pitched really well. It was like a 7-inning, 2-hit, 1-run game. And I don't know why that one sticks out so much, but that was another like first time I went out and like really, really shoved. So I think those 2 starts for me are like the most meaningful. And I'm sure my answer would change if you asked me 10 years down the road. I'm sure I would have a different answer, but for me now,
I will ask you 10 years
2.
down the road. Great, I will.
Yeah.
So
you
mentioned a couple times your mentality changed when you came over to the Rays. Like that was a big thing for you. And I know with myself personally at the plate, like once you get to pro ball, it's so like mental. Like the mental game is what separates guys. Like being able to have confidence and being able to brush off a bad day. I truly believe that so much of professional baseball in a whole is your mindset and being able to get to a point where you have that confidence and you feel good about yourself. And it honestly sounds like the biggest thing for you in your career has been that trade that you were involved in with Chris Archer, that almost brought you the confidence that you needed.
Yeah, no doubt, for sure. I just think it was like, and in Pittsburgh's like defense, 100%, they gave me more than enough opportunity. I just never really seized the moment. And I think it was in 2000, and I was in the back end of the bullpen. My velo had gone back up to where it was a year prior, but I could just feel that like I wasn't necessarily being like given up on. I was still in the big leagues and stuff, but I wasn't as, I don't know, like sought after as I once was in the minor leagues. So it was like that. It's like someone finally again like believed in me, and then me going out and like having success allowed me to like buy into that confidence. But I, like you said, like for anyone in the big leagues, the number one thing is like the mental game. It's the confidence. It's like knowing you belong. And yeah, I would say a big thing too is like not like when you first get called up to the big leagues, it's you don't want to make anyone angry. You don't want to be the new kid who comes up and like disrupts anything. So you kind of have this like shell about you. Like you really don't want to anger anybody. And I think I let that get the best of me. And when I went to the Rays, like their clubhouse was very much not like we had anyone bad in the clubhouse in Pittsburgh. It was always a bunch of good dudes, but it was very much like front office, coaches, players, everybody was on the same level. So there was like no traditional hierarchy kind of. It was very much just like a think tank of everybody trying to succeed. And I think that's why Tampa does so well with like the budget they have. It's just like a really good, like nurturing place to come up and develop.
So you were traded, as we talked about, to the Rays, and that you were involved in the trade with Chris Archer. It sent you to the Rays and Chris Archer to the Pirates. Now, Chris Archer is a teammate of yours in Tampa. So the guy you were originally involved in with the trade is now a teammate of yours. What has that been like for you guys so far? I know it hasn't been too long, but what's that been like?
Awesome. I've only heard like amazing things about him. I had never met him, and he was obviously with the Pirates, and I had friends there, and they always said good things about him. And I'm really good friends with Cole Tucker on the Pirates, and like him and Archer were good friends. So we finally got to meet, obviously, when he got traded over, and I already knew I was gonna like him, and then like I met him more. He's like very articulate and like he's just really intelligent and cares a lot about baseball. So I just think it was just like an easy relationship to have in the beginning. And I mean, like tonight, I'm going to dinner with him tonight. Like it's been an easy transition. He's very personable and knows so many of the people in Tampa already that like it was just so easy for all of us to kind of get into the same room and mesh.
A cool story I remember of him, my brother told me this years ago when he was still with Tampa, is just his mindset when it comes to pitching. Like he's really, really smart and always thinking on the mound. And it's got to be nice as a younger guy to have him to lean on now. So I'd be interested to be a fly on the wall at that dinner, just to hear you guys talk about life and to hear you talk about pitching, because from everything I've heard when it comes to Chris Archer, it's he's a pro, and it's cool to talk to him about it.
Yeah, undoubtedly. And I think that's why I like him so much, is that like I like we'll probably go to dinner and not even talk about baseball. Like he has interests outside of baseball. Like he's not just like a one tunnel like I don't know. I think a lot of people can get into that. Like when your livelihood is baseball, it's hard to have hobbies outside of it. But like he's gotten to the point where like, he has so many other interests outside of baseball that like he's so multidimensional in conversation that like there's never a lull, or it's just like a good friend to have. It's just very easy to kind of mesh together. And like our whole clubhouse is like that, so it makes it very easy.
All right. What is a moment that sticks out to you off of the field with teammates that you've experienced in your career?
I gotta think of some PG ones again.
No, yeah, see, we can push the limit. We can get to PG-13.
I really wish I needed some time like to think about this. I'm trying to think. Honestly, I would say for some reason, most of my good memories are always on flights. It's always like, because I think nowadays, guys, like it's such a competitive game. Like it's not how baseball really like used to be. It's not like everybody after games like goes out and like does a bunch of stuff. It's very much like you especially at home, like you play baseball, you go home and then you see each other at the field. But like on the road and on the flights, that's when you really get to kind of like experience what your teammates are like. And I would just say the most fun I've ever had on a team has always been on a team flight, because everyone's together. Like sometimes you're drinking, sometimes you're not. It's like that same feeling I talked about before. Everyone, you kind of are in this weird, like, oh, we're in the big leagues on a team flight. And it just kind of, everyone's like guard is down, but like a specific story.
You can get a little sloppy. Things can get a little
it would have to be
sloppy
something
on those
like that.
flights.
Like, I don't know. I'm not giving you any good answers here. Sorry.
No, things can get a little sloppy on those flights once the poker chips come out, the cards come out, the drinks start flowing. Things can get sloppy.
Yeah, fun times.
Yes, for sure. Well, Tyler, I am so pumped. Thank you so much for coming on, and good luck in your first opening day starter for the Tampa Bay Rays. I am so excited for you. Good luck. And who are you guys playing?
We are playing the Marlins, the Citrus Series, to open up the series, or to open up the season.
That's right. You're going to get to hit. So we got some.
Yeah.
Here's what I envision. You're going to punch out 10 and hit a bomb in your opening day start.
I hope. Keep thinking that so it happens. That's what I really want to. Honestly, though, if I were to choose, this is a dumb answer, but if I had to choose between a stolen base and a homer, I'm going to pick homer, but like I want to steal a base extremely bad. I'm relatively fast. I don't know if I'm a pitcher, but like I'm still fast. I think like that's a goal of mine. I don't know if I'm going to do it in the Citrus Series by any means. I don't think Cash would let me, but like those two things I got to get off my bucket list before I die. So hopefully it happens.
So if you had to choose between a stolen base and a homer, you would want you'd take the stolen base. Interesting. All right, here. Let me present to you.
I don't know. See, I said that and I was like, maybe not. What a dumb answer. I want one of them at some point. I don't care which one comes first.
All right, then. But before I let you go, let me ask you this hypothetical question: if you had to choose between keeping your hair, like if you had to shave your head or sacrifice one loss on the mound for you, what would you choose?
Oh, I would cut my hair. What do you mean? Like knowing, like I say, like if you cut your hair, you will not lose this game. I'm cutting my hair. It's off. I'll buzz it. I don't care. Like
All
I
right.
can grow back. It's fine.
I respect that answer. All right. All right. So you heard it here first. Well, so now people are, you know, we got to keep it under the radar. We need you to get this stolen. Maybe not this first series. We need you to get a stolen base this year. I am going to be so pumped for you if you if you get a stolen base this year.
You and me both, man. I need it to happen. I know Cash would probably kill me and just be pissed, but I might have to chance it. Who knows?
Are you going head first or feet first into second base?
It's a good question. I feel like if I'm trying to be as optimal as I possibly can, I gotta go head first. But that's another, like, if I had one of those little finger Johnsons, I'm going head first. But if not, if there are no finger covers, I'm gonna go feet first.
You're not gonna get. They're not gonna give you a finger Johnson to wear on first base when you when you hit a single up the middle.
Yeah, I don't think so either. So it looks like I'm going feet first. Yeah.
Well, Tyler, thank you so much for joining me, man. Good luck on your opening day start, and good luck this season. I'd love to have you back on. This was a blast, man. We'll have you back on at some point. But good luck this year, and thank you so much for joining me.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll come on whenever, man. This was really fun. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. If you love flipping bats, swinging 3-0, and just talking ball, hit that subscribe button.